What if I told you that every emotion you feel, every passing thought, every sudden impulse isn't really yours as much as you think? What if I told you that right now, invisible forces are shaping your energy without you even realizing it, guiding your desires, influencing your decisions, and slowly draining your power? Most people go through life asleep, thinking everything comes down to luck, circumstances, or hard work. But those who have awakened to ancient hidden knowledge know something the modern world has forgotten, or maybe had erased from our collective memory. Everything is energy, and energy can be influenced. This isn't just spiritual talk or metaphor. We're talking about a real force, an invisible vibration that flows through everything. You, your thoughts, your words, the world around you. This energy follows universal laws just as precise as gravity, only much more hidden because they hold power. Have you noticed how some people seem to soak up your energy without saying a word? Or how certain places drain you while others immediately lift you up? Have you ever felt suddenly tired, confused, or uneasy, like an invisible cloud is hanging over you? That's no accident. That's energetic manipulation, and it's far more common and dangerous than you might think. In this video, we're going to look beyond the surface to uncover a deep and challenging truth. The energy around you and the energy you put out is always changing. If you're not consciously controlling it, someone else is. We'll uncover ancient wisdom showing how cultures like the Egyptians, the Vedic sages, and Hermetic initiates saw energy as a sacred language. We'll also show how this knowledge was twisted over time, and how you can take it back to protect your energy, heal your vibration, and transform your life from the inside out. Because this isn't just info, it's a remembrance. Your soul already knows this. It just needs you to remember. Get ready. What you're about to learn could change not only how you see the world, but your entire reality. Since the beginning of humanity, those who knew how to work with energy were respected as priests, sages, shamans, and kings. In early civilizations, where the visible world was only a small part of what exists, mastering energy was the ultimate power. In ancient Egypt, temples weren't just places to worship. They were designed as vibrational reactors to channel earth and cosmic energies. The priests of Heliopolis, experts in the mysteries of Ra, understood that the human voice, spoken with the right intention and tone, could change the energy fields of both body and environment. Words weren't just communication, they were creation. In Vedic India, the rishis recorded detailed maps of the human energy system, the chakras, nadis, and prana, in texts like the Upanishads and Vedas. But this wasn't just philosophy. It was a practical guide to transform suffering, heal illness, and achieve spiritual freedom. In other words, controlling energy flow shaped your destiny. The ancient Taoists developed practices like internal alchemy, microcosmic circulation, and qigong breathing to concentrate vital energy and direct it precisely. They knew a single misplaced emotion could harm an organ, and with proper control, the body could become immortal. So what happened to all this knowledge? Over time, energy mastery was kept secret by elites. It was hidden in symbols, locked in coded languages, and eventually dismissed as superstition, occultism, or New Age nonsense. The message was clear. People must not know they can create or destroy with their own vibration. Meanwhile, vibrational wisdom was replaced by materialism. Health became chemistry, emotions became disorders, spirituality became dogma, and energy was reduced to a scientific concept. buried in quantum physics and fringe esotericism. Ironically, major institutions still use these principles today, only now it's disguised. Energy manipulation happens through mass mental programming, crowded cities, disruptive electromagnetic waves, and toxic emotional language. It's not that energy manipulation doesn't exist, it's that you're not using it consciously, while others are. Taking back this knowledge isn't just smart. It's a spiritual rebellion, because whoever understands energy takes back their power, and whoever takes back their power can no longer be controlled. What comes next isn't theory, it's hands-on practice. The hidden ways you influence the world and how to master that power. Everything vibrates. The ancients knew it, and even modern physics confirms it today. But few dare say openly that this vibration can be changed, directed, and programmed. And whoever learns to control their own energy and the energy of others can change realities. So how does it actually work? Imagine your body not just as flesh and bone, but as an electromagnetic field constantly interacting with other fields. You're like a vibrational magnet, sending out frequencies through your thoughts, emotions, words, and actions. Each signal not only shapes your surroundings, but also comes back to you based on what you're putting out. This isn't self-help dressed up as science, it's literal. When someone says, "You have bad vibes," they're not speaking metaphorically. They're picking up on a real energetic distortion, even if they can't explain it. Just like a radio tunes into different stations depending on its frequency, you tune into realities based on yours. Here's the first key idea. 1. Energy follows attention. Wherever you focus your attention, that's where your power goes. Have you noticed that when you keep thinking about something, good or bad, you start attracting more of it? That's not a coincidence, it's how it works. Staying focused on an idea builds an energy concentration that pulls in similar patterns. This principle is used by those who manipulate energy for their own purposes. From advertisers making you want things you don't need to, people projecting judgment, envy, or control. Every emotionally charged thought is a form of directed energy. 2. Your energy body has layers that can be influenced. We're not just an aura, we're a complex mix of layers. The physical, emotional, mental, etheric, and spiritual bodies. Each vibrates at its own frequency and reacts to different things. For example, a heated argument can harm your emotional body, and if it happens repeatedly, the negative energy builds up and shows up as physical illness. On the flip side, practicing gratitude daily can cleanse your emotional body, clear your thoughts, and boost your immune system. In ancient schools of initiation, this was called energetic hygiene. Just like you shower every day to clean your body, you need to cleanse your energy field to avoid carrying around vibrations that aren't yours. 3. Energy can be stolen or transferred. Ever felt drained after talking to someone or unsettled just from their gaze? That's real. Mystics call these energy cords, invisible links triggered by emotional or physical contact where energy leaks or gets absorbed. It's not about seeing enemies everywhere. It's about knowing your energy field needs boundaries, protection, and conscious care. Next, we'll explore how to protect, purify, and direct your energy like ancient alchemists and healers did. Energy manipulation isn't just a risk, it's a sacred tool when used wisely. Now that you know the basics of how the human energy field works, let's go deeper. If the universe is a living network of vibrations and you're a conscious part of it, you can influence it directly. So, how? To answer that, we need to talk about three essential pillars that guided the ancient energy alchemists: intention, frequency, and direction. Each one is like a coordinate point. Together they map how energy moves and changes. First, intention, the core of all energy work. Energy doesn't move on its own. It needs intention to guide it, but simple desire isn't enough. True intention comes from alignment between your thoughts, feelings, and purpose. Say you want to attract health. If you think about it but feel fear and secretly doubt you deserve it, your energy sends mixed signals and nothing fully responds. But when your thoughts, emotions, and beliefs line up, your intention becomes clear and powerful. That's why mantras or visualizations sometimes don't work. They lack that alignment. And why those who manipulate energy for dark reasons target your emotions first. Because changing your feelings changes your energy field. Second, frequency, the universe's secret language. Frequency is the note you send out just by being. Everything gives off a frequency. A word said in anger vibrates differently than the same word said with kindness. A room where a fight happened holds a different frequency than one where meditation took place. Colors, sounds, music, the people around you, even your own thoughts, shape your frequency. Using frequency to influence energy is one of the oldest and most effective methods. Egyptians used chants, Tibetans singing bowls, Africans drums, Kabbalists Hebrew letters, because sound directly affects our electromagnetic field. Today, we often forget this and let media noise, digital distractions, and negative messages quietly reprogram our energy. Third, direction. Where are you sending your power? Picture your energy like a laser beam. When it's scattered, it's like a weak flashlight. When focused with clear intention and frequency, you can actually change realities. This isn't magic, it's esoteric science. The ancients knew how to send energy to a sick organ, a goal, or a person who needed help. And that energy comes back multiplied. This is where protection comes in. If you don't project consciously, energy will be projected onto you. That's why it's important to close your energy field at the end of the day, clear your energy after intense interactions, and use vibrational shields like the golden sphere, violet mantle, or luminous egg. You can also cut negative energy cords with affirmations, focused breathing, or ritual baths with salt, rosemary, and symbolic fire. Mastering these three pillars is like finding your soul's lost instruction manual. With practice, you'll notice subtle but powerful shifts. People who drained you no longer affect you. Opportunities open effortlessly. Your body handles stress better. Your awareness sharpens and your energy field expands. Because when you control your energy consciously, the universe responds in kind. Knowing that energy manipulation is real shouldn't make you paranoid. It should raise your awareness. It's not about fearing the invisible world. It's about recognizing that you're living in it all the time. And with the right tools, you can turn your life into fertile ground for creation, healing, and growth. We're not talking about complicated rituals or secret formulas reserved for a select few. These are simple actions done with intention that over time reshape your energy field. Here are some practical steps you can start using today to strengthen your energy and avoid unconscious manipulation. 1. Cleanse your field at the end of the day. Just like you shower or change clothes, you need to release the energy you've picked up. Every interaction and every place leaves a subtle mark. You can take a sea salt bath, wave incense around your body, or visualize a waterfall of light washing over you and carrying away anything that's not yours. Do this every night, even if you don't feel anything special. It's like spiritual prevention. 2. Breathe with intention. Take 3 mindful, deep breaths each day. With each inhale, imagine drawing in pure light. With each exhale, release tension, fear, and foreign thoughts. This practice recenters you and helps you regain control of your energy, especially when you feel overwhelmed or confused. 3. Watch your words. Every word carries energy. Avoid language of scarcity, complaint, or victimhood. Swap "I can't" for "I'm learning to," and "everything goes wrong" for "I'm moving toward a solution." The way you speak builds your vibration because words are vehicles of power. 4. Visualize energetic protection. Before leaving home, picture a bright, strong, golden sphere surrounding your body. Imagine nothing negative can get through and everything you send out is pure. This simple visualization creates a real shield because your mind can't fully tell the difference between imagined and real experiences, and your energy responds to consistent imagery. 5. Choose your environments carefully. Not all places are neutral. Some are heavy with stress or negative energy. Learn to read the vibe. Trust your gut. If a place feels off, take a deep breath, reinforce your shield, and if you can, move on. Your energy is precious. Don't give it away where it's not appreciated. The key isn't perfection. It's remembering that you have power. Every conscious choice, no matter how small, sends a message to the universe. I am in charge of my energy. I choose to vibrate from my center. Repeating this decision is what truly sets you free. Since the beginning of time, humans have tried to control what they don't understand. When we realized everything in the universe vibrates and responds, we saw that the real battle wasn't for land or wealth, but for energy. After centuries of forgetting, that truth is coming back, and you watching this are not here by accident. You're waking up to a deeper, more powerful reality. You are energy. You shape energy. You live in an ocean of energy. It's not something outside of you. It's your original language. Energy manipulation isn't inherently dark, as some believe. It's a natural ability of conscious beings. What matters is intention. When you watch your thoughts, direct your breath, choose your words, and clear your energy field, you become the alchemist of your own reality. You don't just move through life as a body trying to survive. You move as a vibrant field, an emitter, a living transformer. And here's the hardest truth. If you don't shape your energy, someone else will, because an energy vacuum doesn't exist. Where there's neglect, there's outside influence. Where there's unconsciousness, there's programming. Where there's vibrational chaos, others will take advantage. But when you wake up, you take back what was taken from you: the power to create, the right to decide your frequency, the freedom to be who you truly are. Nothing outside of you has more power than you when you choose to remember yourself. So here's my question. Will you keep drifting through life like an undirected energetic sponge, or will you use this knowledge to find your center, raise your vibration, and become an active force for change? The world needs less reactive energy and more conscious energy, less emotional noise and more clear vibration, less passive manipulation and more intentional creation. If this video opened your eyes, take action. Subscribe to get more teachings like this, ones few dare to share. Like the video if something spoke to you, and share it with someone who needs to remember their hidden power. because when you share awareness, you don't lose, you multiply. And with every bit of wisdom you spread, your own energy rises. Remember this: your energy field is your signature in the universe. Make it shine as what you truly are, a bright, sovereign, vibrant, awakened being. What if one day you woke up knowing with absolute certainty that what your eyes see isn't the whole truth? What if you found out there's another way of seeing, not with your physical eyes, but with the eye of your soul? This isn't just a regular journey, an exercise in imagination, or a poetic metaphor. It's a revelation hidden beneath layers of conditioning, fear, and forgetfulness. Today, we're going to cross that threshold. Welcome to the secret technique for activating the third eye, the sacred gateway to inner vision. Throughout history, cultures from ancient Hindu mystics to the sages of pharaonic Egypt have talked about an invisible eye, an energy point that not only sees the physical world, but also senses the subtle vibrations of existence. In Hindu tradition, it's called the Ajna chakra. In Egypt, it's the Eye of Horus. In Western esoteric thought, it's known as the Eye of the Soul, or clairvoyance. But why was this ability so closely guarded? Why did it become forbidden knowledge? The answer is simple, yet deeply unsettling. Because seeing with an awakened third eye means seeing the truth. And truth, when it can't be controlled, is dangerous to those who want to keep humanity asleep. Activating this center of perception isn't about spiritual trends or curiosity. It's a revolutionary act. It's reclaiming your energetic freedom and breaking the barriers set by a system that fears free individuals, those who are intuitive and connected to their divine purpose. In this video, we'll explore what the third eye really is, how it's been honored and silenced for thousands of years, and most importantly, how you can activate it in a practical, safe, and powerful way. I'll share a technique that doesn't require secret initiations or complicated rituals. You just need something that's always been inside you: attention, intention, and presence. Get ready. Once you open this gateway, you'll never see life the same way again. What was hidden will start to come to light. Synchronicities will increase. The signs the universe has been sending you will make sense. And most importantly, you'll start to remember. Because the third eye doesn't take you somewhere new. It brings you back to yourself, to the part of you that always knew, the part that observes with the soul. Are you ready to see beyond? If so, stick with me. What comes next could be the first step toward the most important awakening of your life. Long before modern science tried to explain perception as just neural impulses, ancient civilizations knew that humans have an invisible organ meant to see beyond form. This organ, located right in the center of the brain between the two hemispheres, is the pineal gland. But its role goes far beyond biology. For the wise people of old, it was the home of the soul, the eye of consciousness, the light that reveals the unseen. In Hinduism, the Ajna chakra, also called the command center, is on the forehead between the eyebrows. It's no accident it's shown as a two-petaled lotus, one petal for the rational mind, the other for intuition. Tantric yoga teachings say this chakra is where the soul contemplates the subtle realm. When the ajna opens, the practitioner not only sees energies but also understands the meaning behind events. You don't see with your eyes, you know with your spirit. In ancient Egypt, the third eye was symbolized by the Eye of Horus, a sign of protection, power, and clairvoyance. Its design holds mathematical patterns that still fascinate scientists today, like the Fibonacci sequence and the golden ratio. But more than that, the Eye of Horus was a map, a coded symbol representing parts of the human brain, especially the pineal gland. It wasn't just decoration, it was a guide for inner awakening. Western esoteric traditions are just as rich. Alchemists spoke of the inner eye of the heart, Rosicrucians of the inner light, and Christian mystics of the single eye of the soul, echoing Jesus's words. If your eye is single, your whole body will be full of light. This eye is symbolic. It points to unified perception beyond duality. When that happens, reality changes its texture. It becomes not just matter but vibration, not just a series of events but a dance of meaning. Yet over centuries this knowledge was hidden, not because it was unimportant but because it was dangerously freeing. Mass control requires obedient bodies and disconnected minds. The third eye does the opposite. It awakens discernment, fuels willpower, and reconnects you to your original source. That's why it was labeled dangerous, heretical, or fantasy, not because it doesn't work, but because it works too well. Today, amid digital noise, constant distractions, and fake lights, returning to this wisdom is more than curiosity. It's a call from the soul. Inner vision can't be bought or forced. It's something you cultivate. And the most powerful part is that it's never been fully closed. Just dormant, waiting for you to awaken it. And that awakening starts now. To understand how to activate the third eye, we first need to drop the idea that it's something exotic or foreign. It's not a spiritual bonus or a gift for only a few enlightened people. It's part of your original design. It's like a bud inside your mind, always there, waiting for you to pause, notice it, and breathe. The third eye isn't an eye in the literal sense, but an energy center that corresponds physically to the pineal gland. This tiny pine cone-shaped gland sits right in the middle of the brain between the hemispheres, and its location is no accident. Many cultures say it's the link between humans and the divine. The pineal gland releases melatonin, which regulates sleep cycles, but ancient texts say it also produces a mystical substance called DMT, dimethyltryptamine, a visionary molecule that opens the door to spiritual perception. This substance is still debated by modern science and has been called the spirit molecule. But you don't need to take anything from outside to access it. You just have to awaken the natural channel for that vision to flow, your focused attention. How? With intention, breath, and a specific technique. But before I share it, one key thing to understand: the third eye isn't just about seeing visions. Its real job is to reveal what's behind appearances. It's the center of clarity and sacred discernment. Activating it doesn't mean hallucinating. It means seeing more deeply what's already in front of you. The hidden emotions of others, the universe's synchronistic signs, the unseen patterns in your own life. This forbidden activation technique wasn't banned because it's dangerous, but because it transforms you. It makes you less easy to manipulate, more intuitive, more connected, and in a control-driven system, that's a problem. Here's the first step. Create a field of silence. The third eye doesn't open in noise or rush. It needs stillness, but not just outside quiet. It needs inner calm, the kind of silence you get when you step away from the non-stop flow of automatic thoughts and bring yourself fully into the present moment. Step 2 is focus. Not forcing your mind, but a gentle vibrational focus. Bring your attention softly to the center of your forehead. Picture a violet light starting to pulse there. You don't have to actually see it with your eyes closed, just sense its presence. This light looks inward like a beacon shining from your soul. Step 3 is rhythm. The third eye opens best with conscious, steady breathing. Breathe in for 4 counts. Hold for 4. Breathe out for 4. Rest in silence for 4. This square breath is used in many traditions to help access inner vision. As you breathe, imagine each cycle feeding that violet light in your brow. Slowly the light spirals like a galaxy waking up. Each rotation lifts a veil. Each exhale releases a false belief. Until one moment when you're no longer imagining, you're remembering how to see without eyes, how to perceive from your sacred core. This is just the first half of the journey. The preparation. Lighting the beacon. Once the third eye's light starts to awaken, something shifts, subtly but forever. You can't look at the world the same way. There's a glow behind objects, a whisper in empty spaces, a resonance in words that once felt flat. This isn't a hallucination. It's your first glimpse of subtle vision, of that invisible layer that's always been there but hidden beneath the obvious. Activating the third eye is only the beginning. The real work is keeping that perception steady. Like a spiritual muscle, the Ajna chakra needs regular practice to stay clear. Many beginners chase quick, flashy experiences, colors, lights, visions. But the true vision of the third eye is quiet, deep, sometimes uncomfortable, but always revealing. One early sign you've begun seeing from this center is heightened awareness of others' emotional and energetic truth. You start to notice when someone's words don't match their vibe. Your body becomes a sensitive radar, picking up the mask behind the face, the real intention behind the speech. This sensitivity isn't about judgment, it's a call to awakened compassion. We all navigate layers of unconsciousness, and now you can see those layers. But this new vision also brings challenges. The first challenge is spiritual ego. When the third eye opens, the ego might try to claim the gift, feeling special, superior, enlightened. Many lose their way here. But the true seer doesn't seek attention. They seek to serve. Seeing more is not a prize. It's a responsibility. The second challenge is over-opening. If the third eye opens too fast or without grounding, symptoms like insomnia, anxiety, or feeling disconnected from reality can appear. That's why it's important to stay balanced with the lower chakras, especially the root chakra. Spiritual vision needs to be rooted in the earth to avoid drifting away. Think of it like holding a powerful flashlight. You have to grip it firmly so it lights the way without blinding you. How do we keep this perception steady? 1. Daily ritual. Short, consistent practice beats occasional long sessions. Just a few minutes at dawn or dusk, focusing on your brow and breathing in silence, keeps the channel clear. 2. Vibrational discernment. Be mindful of your environment, conversations, and what you consume. Everything either feeds or clouds your inner vision. If something dims your light, notice it. If it lifts you up, nurture it. 3. Symbolic journaling. Keep a vision journal, not to record everything, but to note repeating patterns, symbols, colors, or phrases. The universe speaks in metaphors. Your third eye is the translator. 4. Bodily grounding. Inner vision is linked to the body. Practice yoga, mindful movement, or walking meditation. The more connected you are to your body, the sharper your soul's vision will be. Remember, seeing more isn't about spotting things others miss. It's about seeing what's always been there, just from a deeper place. The world itself doesn't change, your perception does. And with that new perception, everything takes on fresh meaning. The veil is lifted, but the journey goes on. Living with an active third eye doesn't mean withdrawing from life. Quite the opposite. It means living more fully in the present, seeing the invisible in everyday moments, perceiving the essence behind appearances. In short, living awake. A key to keeping this vision alive is practicing non-judgmental mindfulness. Your inner sight may reveal things you'd rather not face. Shadows inside yourself, patterns in others, false beliefs you once trusted. Many shut down here, not because they can't see, but because seeing hurts. But that pain is the first step toward freedom. No longer living on autopilot, but living from truth. Here's the first important tip. Turn your vision into action. Seeing without doing is useless. If you sense manipulation in a relationship, passive watching isn't enough. Take steps. If your job dims your inner light, make changes where you can. The third eye isn't a spiritual decoration. It's your inner compass pointing toward purpose, and you have to walk the path. Second, protect your energy like you would your home. Seeing more means taking in more. Your energy field gets sensitive and open. Crowded places, toxic news, or draining people can snuff out your flame. This is about discernment, not isolation. Use salt baths, cleansing meditations, or harmonic sounds. Make your body and space a temple of vibration. Third, don't get stuck on phenomena. Many start seeing colors, sensing presences, or getting messages, and then think that's the goal. The true purpose of the third eye is to remember who you really are. Everything else is just a signpost, not the destination. Fourth, use your vision to serve others. If you see what others can't, don't show off, help. You can be a light for those still in darkness, not with fancy words, but with your calm, shining presence. Sometimes just looking at someone from the soul is enough for them to finally feel seen. Fifth, be patient. The third eye doesn't open all at once. It's like a flower slowly unfolding in the sunlight of daily intention. Some days are clear, others foggy, and both are part of the process. It's not about forcing vision, but letting it come naturally with humility. Finally, remember, you're not seeing outward, but through yourself. Every image, feeling, and message reflects your own soul. Don't fear what you see, embrace it. Through that vision, you'll realize there's no separation between you and the universe. There's only one eye, the eye of spirit, awakening to see itself. Everything on this path leads to one core truth. The third eye isn't a gift, but a sacred responsibility. Awakening it doesn't make you better than others. It makes you more aware, more deeply connected to life and its infinite symbols. You've crossed an invisible but very real threshold. On the other side, there are no promises of power, only calls to presence, integrity, and compassion. We've journeyed together through the mysteries of the pineal gland, explored its link to inner light, ancient practices that activate it, and the challenges of keeping that vision open. You've learned that the forbidden technique isn't secret because it's dangerous, but because it restores the ability to see without filters. In a world where many prefer the comfort of blindness, to truly see is to rebel. But what does it really mean to see? It means perceiving what's beneath the surface, discovering the invisible web that connects seemingly random events. Understanding that every encounter, word, and emotion has a deeper vibrational root. To see is to step into the sacred geometry of existence and realize nothing is out of place. Even chaos has its pattern, even pain its lesson, and the universe is working with you, not against you. This awakening doesn't happen in a sudden mystical moment, but with every conscious choice you make. Choosing silence over judgment, compassion over reaction, presence over distraction. The third eye isn't a tool to escape the world. It's a gateway to live more fully in it. Now that you know this, there's no going back. You can't unsee what you've seen. You can't pretend not to know. And that's a blessing, because in this new way of seeing, even the smallest things, a breeze, a glance, a repeating number, a tear without reason, become messages from the universe reminding you that you're on the path, ready but not alone. Share this vision, not by forcing it, but by inspiring others. There are still many eyes closed, waiting for a word, a story, or a look to remind them of what they've forgotten. You can be that light. And if this message has touched you, if something inside you has awakened, I invite you to subscribe to the channel, leave a like, and share this video with fellow seekers, not for the algorithms, but because light grows when it spreads. Remember, it's not about seeing new things, but about seeing with new eyes. Open your vision, live clearly, and let your inner gaze always be a bridge to the sacred. Have you ever felt like something inside you starts moving for no clear reason, almost as if a deep, quiet voice was telling you that life holds more than what you've experienced so far. It's not just a random thought or a fleeting emotion, it's a calling, a mysterious and ancient calling that comes from within, awakening at the right time. This isn't random, it's a sign that you're beginning one of the most sacred and life-changing journeys a person can take. Spiritual awakening. This isn't just a superficial understanding or a shift in beliefs, but a process that shakes the very core of your identity, lifting you out of illusions and inviting you to see reality in a whole new way. Although every awakening is unique, like an imprint of energy that cannot be repeated, there are certain stages that most seekers will go through. These stages are like thresholds that mark the transition from the old version of yourself to one that is more authentic, free, and connected to the divine. In this video, we will explore the 5 stages of spiritual awakening together. This is not meant to be a strict guide, but rather a living tool to help you understand where you are on your journey and where you're headed. From the initial chaos that shakes your world to the deep inner peace of a soul that's been rooted, each stage carries its own purpose, power, and mystery. This won't be just an information dump. It will be a deep dive into the symbolic and energetic process of transformation that all conscious beings experience. I invite you to listen with an open heart, to feel what resonates with you, and most importantly, to remember that you are not alone. If you're watching this, it's likely that your soul has already started to awaken. And this could be one of the clearest signs that your transformation is already underway. Spiritual awakening is not something modern or just a passing trend in personal growth. It's an ancient process that's been recorded in sacred texts, kept safe in forgotten temples, and passed down orally in mystical schools for generations. What we now call the stages of awakening were once known as the soul's initiation stages. In ancient Egypt, the priests of the temples of Isis and Osiris guided initiates through symbolic processes of death and spiritual rebirth. These were not dramatic rituals, but real tests for the soul. The initiate had to face inner chaos and ignorance to finally find the light of wisdom and unity with the whole. This path was represented by 12 portals of transformation, each one corresponding to a higher level of consciousness. In Hinduism, awakening is often understood as the process of Kundalini, the serpent-like energy that rests at the base of the spine. As this energy rises through the chakras, it awakens spiritual perception and expands consciousness, leading to enlightenment or samadhi. This energy ascent involves its own stages, challenges, and revelations. Buddhism also embraces this concept. Siddhartha Gautama, before becoming the Buddha, went through multiple inner phases, renouncing, doubting, battling with the ego, reaching enlightenment under the Bodhi tree, and ultimately dedicating his life to selfless service. His followers understood that every true spiritual awakening involves rupture, clarity, and transformation. In the mystical texts of Gnostic Christianity, there is talk of the knowledge of the heart and the ladder of the soul. Awakening isn't just about adopting new beliefs or converting. It's a conscious journey towards the inner heavens, the very kingdom of God that Jesus referred to when he said, "The kingdom of God is within you." In the Gospel of Thomas, Christ is portrayed not as an external savior, but as an internal divine spark that must be ignited. Neoplatonists like Plotinus taught that the soul descends into the physical world to learn, forget, and then remember its divine nature through a process they called anamnesis, or sacred recollection. This process, step by step, is the soul's return to its original source, the One. Even among indigenous cultures, the concept of awakening has been present in many shamanic traditions. Awakening often starts with a call from the spirit, or a crisis or illness that marks the beginning of transformation. Those who answer this call must face symbolic trials, fasting, visions, isolation, the death of the ego, until they are reborn as healers, guides, or visionaries. These traditions, separated by time and place, all share a profound insight. Spiritual awakening is not a single event. It is a journey. It's not a sudden moment of illumination, but a deep transformation, sometimes painful but always sacred. This journey is marked by stages, cycles, and transitions that lead us from darkness to light, confusion to clarity, and from the limited self to the infinite being. Today, in this hyper-connected world that still craves spiritual fulfillment, souls continue to awaken. While we no longer bow before ancient statues or meditate in caves, the process remains unchanged. The 5 stages of awakening we'll explore next are rooted in ancient wisdom passed down through millennia. They are like doors to your true self, echoes of knowledge that your soul already understands and is now remembering. Spiritual awakening, at its core, is not about finding something new, but about returning to the eternal. It's the process where the soul, which has been asleep in the illusion of the material world, begins to reconnect with its divine origins. And while each path is unique, there are universal stages that mark this sacred journey, stages that are not just abstract ideas, but real inner doors that open one after another in harmony with our growth. In this first part, we'll look at the first 3 stages of spiritual awakening, the ones that act like a crucible where the soul begins its transformation. Some of these stages are painful, others are enlightening, but all of them are necessary. First, we have the dark night of the soul. This stage is often something we don't want, but it's absolutely necessary. It's the breaking point, the moment when the old self starts to fall apart. Everything you thought was your identity, your goals, your beliefs, your relationships, starts to lose its meaning. You might feel empty, lost, and disconnected from everything that once gave you comfort. Christian mystics like San Juan de la Cruz describe this phase as the dark night of the soul, an experience of desolation that paradoxically prepares the soul for light. In this phase, the soul goes through deep self-reflection, and while the ego tries to hold on, something deeper is waking up inside. Common signs of this stage include existential crises, spiritual anxiety, feelings of emptiness, loss of purpose, and emotional isolation. But this chaos isn't punishment, it's a purifying fire, a moment when the caterpillar begins to dissolve, not knowing it's meant to fly. Second, we enter the inner call. After the initial breakdown, something new begins to grow. At first, it's like a weak spark, but it's persistent. This is the call, a subtle but strong sense that there's something more, something beyond the everyday world. You start questioning everything. Who am I really? Why am I here? What does it all mean? You find yourself drawn to spiritual ideas, ancient philosophies, and mysterious symbols. There's an almost magnetic pull towards self-awareness. This stage mirrors the first awakening in many spiritual traditions. It's when the soul starts to remember its true nature. You may not yet have full clarity, but you feel a thirst for truth, a sense that a deeper reality is waiting to be discovered. At this point, you consciously begin your search. You read books you once ignored, and you feel drawn to practices like meditation, yoga, astrology, or even shamanism, not as trends, but as tools to wake up something within you. Common signs include constant synchronicities, vivid symbolic dreams, a desire to withdraw from shallow environments, and a growing sense of connection with something invisible. Third, we experience the expansion of consciousness. In this stage, what was once just an intuitive feeling begins to turn into direct experiences. You start to see reality in a new way. What once seemed rigid becomes fluid, and what appeared to be separate reveals itself as interconnected. Your consciousness expands, and you realize that you are more than just a body or a personal story. You are part of something much bigger. The individual self starts to dissolve into the collective we. You may experience moments of deep peace and unity with everything, sometimes brief but unforgettable. Duality begins to fade and judgment turns into compassion, guilt into acceptance, and fear into presence. In many traditions, this stage is considered the birth of the higher self, the moment when the soul takes charge and begins guiding you from a higher perspective. Common signs include heightened empathy, energetic shifts, a sense of connection with nature, mystical or transcendent experiences, and moments of insight that can't be explained logically. These three stages, the fall, the call, and the expansion, form the first major cycle of awakening. They are like the first three steps a seeker takes in crossing the threshold of their inner temple. These stages aren't easy, but they are sacred, as each one removes a veil, reveals a truth, and brings you closer to who you truly are. In the next section, we will explore the final two stages of the awakening process, those where you not only awaken, but also start living from this new consciousness. Until now, the soul has crossed thresholds of pain, longing, and expansion. It has started to remember who it truly is and has glimpsed the reality beyond the illusion. But the journey of spiritual awakening doesn't end with a fleeting experience of unity. What comes next is even more sacred and challenging, embodying what you've remembered, becoming the light, and living fully awake. Fourth, integration, turning your awakening into daily life. After profound insights and experiences, it's time to bring everything you've learned into your everyday life. This stage is often less dramatic, but even more important than the earlier ones. You've had visions, deep realizations, or maybe mystical experiences, but now you need to ground all of that wisdom. Spiritual integration is about aligning your newfound understanding with your daily life. This is where many people struggle. They want to stay in the blissful state, but true spirituality shows up in the simple moments, in how you handle chaos, interact with others, and act when no one is watching. You begin to cleanse your life, letting go of things that no longer align with who you are. Habits, relationships, jobs, environments, not out of judgment, but through discernment. It's not about painful sacrifice, it's about conscious refinement. You're shaping your reality from the new awareness you've gained, and with that comes a deep need for authenticity. You no longer want to wear a mask. You want to live in total harmony, where your thoughts, feelings, and actions all match up. At this point, spirituality becomes more than just a concept. It's a way of living. Signs of this stage include searching for inner balance, making major lifestyle changes, having more aligned relationships, feeling a need for service or purpose, and experiencing moments of inner silence. This stage is long and cyclical, like a spiral that deepens each time you go around. It never really ends because there's always more to integrate. But every layer you align with makes you feel lighter, freer, and truer to yourself. Fifth, conscious mastery, being of service to all. The final stage of awakening isn't about retreat, isolation, or achieving perfection. It's about being fully present in the world, with your feet on the ground and your soul connected to something higher. It's about becoming a living bridge between different dimensions. At this point, you're no longer searching, not because you know everything, but because you've already discovered within yourself the source that holds everything. You've moved from being a seeker to being someone who carries light. This mastery isn't about arrogance or ego, it's about active humility. You understand that everything continues to evolve, but you no longer resist it. You flow, you serve, you radiate. You are a guide without forcing your ideas onto others, a teacher without needing students. You're like a beacon that doesn't need to convince anyone but simply shines and transforms things through your presence. At this stage, your energy starts to influence others naturally, and you attract those who are ready for their own transformation. Your words, silences, and actions become like medicine, not because you've prepared them, but because you're a channel for something much greater. This is the stage of the Bodhisattva in Buddhism, the realized person in Vedanta, and the embodied Christ in Gnosis. It's not about being separated from the world, but being fully present in it, walking among others like someone holding a lighted torch. Common signs of this stage include profound inner peace, detachment without coldness, constant inspiration, attracting seekers, and the ability to maintain elevated energy spaces. However, like all stages, this isn't a final destination. It's not the top of the mountain, but the start of a new cycle. A true master remains a student of mystery, continuously refining their energy, serving in silence, and always remembering that the path doesn't have an endpoint, only deeper layers. With these 5 stages, the soul awakens, is purified, grows, aligns, and ultimately becomes who it truly is. There's no going back, no more masks, only the presence of a being living from the highest truth. Understanding these stages of spiritual awakening is a powerful insight. But that insight only becomes wisdom when we apply it. Enlightenment doesn't happen in a hidden temple or atop a high mountain. It happens in the everyday, in traffic, in difficult conversations, in the silence of dawn, and in the decisions we make when no one is watching. In this process, you'll learn how to recognize which stage you're in and how to consciously integrate each one into your life. Because beyond the mystical, awakening is a deeply human journey. First, if you're in the dark night of the soul, understand that this is a radical purification. Don't fight against the darkness. Observe it, listen to it, ask it what it has come to show you that's most important. The key is to allow yourself to feel without judgment. Write down what you experience. Don't isolate yourself completely, but choose with love who you share this process with. Practice detachment, not from rejection, but from understanding. Let go of what no longer resonates with you. Sometimes losing everything is the only way to find yourself. Remember, you're not falling, you're being replanted. Keep a shadow journal. Write down what hurts, what confuses you, and what you intuitively feel is happening. Second, if you're feeling the inner call, now is the time to open yourself up to mystery without needing all the answers. Read, explore, and dive into different traditions. But more importantly, start listening to your inner wisdom. This is your true guide. Strengthen your connection with nature, pay attention to your body, and allow yourself to experience things without rigid expectations. Try practices like meditation, visualization, conscious walks, or prayer. Your soul will communicate in the way you're ready to hear. A helpful practice is to create an altar for awakening. You don't need expensive items, just symbols that represent your intention to reconnect with the sacred. Third, if you're in the expansion of consciousness, you're starting to feel like you're part of something much greater. Your emotions become more subtle, and your thoughts expand. It's a moment of tuning in with the unseen world. The key during this stage is not to rush. Your mind will try to make sense of what you're going through, but the soul speaks quietly. Pay attention to your words, actions, and decisions, not because you need to be perfect, but because now you understand that everything has its own energy. Choose from a place of presence, honor your energy, and practice conscious silence. Set aside 10 minutes a day to simply sit in silence, without expectations, and just be present. The soul strengthens through simplicity. Fourth, if you're integrating everything you've learned, true transformation begins. You no longer need to escape to nature to feel spiritual. You can maintain a high vibration even in a busy city. However, you might feel tempted to go back to old habits, people, places, or situations trying to pull you back into your former self. Don't fight them. Be grateful for the lessons and choose a new path. This is a time to establish new routines. Diet, rest, relationships, and habits. Not as obligations, but as acts of love toward your reborn self. Create a sacred routine, whether it's a mindful morning or evening ritual where you meditate, express gratitude, cleanse your energy, and affirm your path. Fifth, if you're in the stage of conscious mastery, you've stopped searching and have started living from your truth. You're not here to impress others, you're here to shine. The ego continues to dissolve, and each day becomes an act of surrender. However, this stage requires humility. A true master remains a student, always learning, falling, and refining their soul. The work never ends, it only deepens. Seek to serve without losing yourself, to guide without becoming dependent, and to help without absorbing. This is the delicate balance of living with your feet on the ground and your soul in the sky. Practice silent service. Do something for someone every day without expecting recognition. True power grows in the anonymity of the soul. So how can you tell which stage you're in? The answer lies within your body, your emotions, and your dreams. No stage is better than another, and there's no linear path. Sometimes you may be in multiple stages at once, or return to an earlier stage to heal something unresolved. What's important is to recognize where you are, honor it, and move forward with honesty. This is not a journey outward, but a deep dive into the temple of your soul. Now that you've moved through the 5 stages of spiritual awakening, you might understand a profound truth. There is no final destination, only constant growth. Awakening isn't a goal, it's a way of living, a sacred choice to walk with your soul's eyes open, even when the world seems asleep. This journey isn't linear. It's not about climbing a ladder toward perfection, but about moving in concentric circles toward the core of your being, again and again, with more truth, depth, and compassion. Maybe today you're in the dark night of the soul and everything feels like it's falling apart. Or perhaps you've just heard the call and don't know where to start. Or maybe you're integrating years of inner work without needing labels or approval. It doesn't matter where you are. What matters is that you're walking toward your true self. Awakening is not a one-time event. It's a daily decision. Every morning, ask yourself, where do I want to live today? From fear or from love? From old patterns or from my essence? Every time you choose your soul, even in small ways, you're not just evolving yourself. You're helping humanity evolve, because when one person awakens, the light spreads to all. This video isn't about giving you all the answers. It's to remind you that you already carry the answers within you. Each stage you experience is part of a divine plan designed by your higher consciousness to help you remember who you truly are. So when you doubt, fall, or forget, come back to this map, not as a rigid guide, but as a mirror, reflecting your highest self. And remember, no awakening is too small, no shadow too great. Everything you experience, if approached with presence, brings you closer to the truth. If this message resonated with you, subscribe to continue exploring esoteric wisdom and the mysteries of the soul. Like this video if something within you has awakened, and share it with those who are ready to remember who they are, because this awakening is not done alone. It happens in community, in connection, in love. And you, traveler of the spirit, which stage are you in?